Van Dijk has to be concerned about. You look and you go, oh, I have to offer myself where there are more bodies than we have, and it's a simple. This is sometimes I don't know if he smells it, Van Dijk. Does he really smell danger enough? Because you know, if Tony Adams is in the team, that was his role, back post. He's marshalling that. Anything comes into his area, bang, he's going to be there, and he's too quick to go out. I think it's see it through, defend it.
I think it's a bit harsh, you know, sticking too much criticism on Van Dijk because of the player he's been. But I think it's fair to say that last season he wasn't the player, and what we've seen today, he isn't the player that he has been for Liverpool. And I understand that all players, you know, form dips and you have peaks and troughs and everything, but he just doesn't seem to be quite the defensive animal, the organiser, the stability and the stable player in that back line for Liverpool that he's historically been.
I think, though, you know, they've had a settled team, and Henderson would normally be in one position for corners and Fabinho another. I think that has an effect as well. So it's, you know, we don't want to be too
I wanted to ask,
critical, really, from those points of view.
I wanted to ask, you mentioned Tony Adams, because you played a lot of games with him, didn't you? A lot of games, yeah. And you were in the youth system together, so you knew him from when he was literally a child and you were a child. Van Dijk's had to work sometimes with Matip. Sometimes he's had to work with Konate. Sometimes he's had to work with Joe Gomez. At times, I think last season, Henderson had to slot in as a centre-back.
Yeah, but it's Alexander Arnold. Alexander Arnold has pretty well been his right back the whole time. So
but now he's shifted to midfield at times.
Yeah, but it's
a
new partnership. From a set piece, it's a partnership. And you know, but there are other roles for other players in those. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to go out. And what will happen is a midfield player very often think, oh, the job's done, and they wander forward. And then you're left there as a defender, and you've got to look around. You've got to be able to pick up in that situation and take charge of it, even if you're screaming at people to come back. And just in that situation there, I think they got caught out. I don't expect that to happen in the next game, but they've got to clear the danger first. And the shout should be, we're not coming out until that ball's cleared. And they're too eager, I feel, the midfield to abandon the defence and push forward.
Yeah, and I think if you look at it very closely, you know, when that ball is recycled by Chelsea and it gets delivered back in, there's actually a numerical advantage to Chelsea as opposed to Liverpool. So Liverpool defending, if I'm defending, I want a numerical advantage in my favour. And there was just a little bit more desire there, in my opinion, from Chelsea to be first to each time the ball was dropping, each time it was half cleared, and to keep recycling it.
OK, I've got two more questions concerning the Liverpool defence before we move on. Firstly, do you expect Van Dijk to get back to his imperial best?
It's not just about... You're picking out, we've spoken enough about him. What we look for is one person to be the dominant force in there. They have to come together as a four.
Well, he's the captain.
Yes, but they need protection in front, and Liverpool have survived on really good pressing at the top of the team. We saw that in the early stages. We didn't see that maybe in the second half. They sat very deep, and then they're asked to defend close to their goal, and I'm not sure that they're the best when it comes to marking. Positions from marking from corners. We talked about being touch tight. They weren't doing that in the first half. There's a really good chance there for them Chelsea to score. Didn't take it. So, but it's early in the season, and we have to be. We look. You know, it's a long time ago since we played the game. But pre-season, you're not quite sharp enough. You know, you need to get a little bit tougher with yourself and angry. I'm pretty certain Klopp's in there now, saying to the guys, "We need more if we want to be champions," and that's what they're about. They go for top four, they go for champions. And today, they weren't quite at that level.
You know, you're saying about Van Dijk getting back to his imperial best. You know, actually, you can broaden that out and say, Liverpool, are they going to get back to their imperial best? You know, I know they had a good finish to last season, but they still finished, what, 5th in the table, didn't they? Which isn't good enough by Liverpool standards under Jurgen Klopp. To answer that, yeah, I believe both Van Dijk and the team can get back there. Yes, of course they can, but they're a little way short of it at the moment, that's for sure.